So to start this tutorial is actually an asymmetric bustier gown, but we'll be starting the drafting from the front. This is the front bodice. So because it's asymmetric, you can see I have my full bodice around here. This is my full bodice pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do for this asymmetric, my neckline here is 3 inches by 3 inches, but I don't need to draw it because it's an asymmetric tube dress. So I'll place my tape here and I'll get the midpoint. That is the first thing I'll do. Once I get the midpoint, I'll also do the same. I'll place my tape here. I'll also get the midpoint of my shoulder. So after getting the midpoint of the shoulder, I'll go over and connect the midpoint to the bust point. I believe you know these lines. This is the chest line, and this is the bust point line, the under bust point, and the waist line. So here my dart intake is 1.5, and I replaced it when I was connecting this line. And this is my bust dart. My bust dart is 2 inches because that is the difference between the front and the back neckline. So I will also connect this from here. I'm going to connect it to the half shoulder as well. So I've connected, and this is exactly what I need right now. So I will come from the shoulder. This is my shoulder line. So from the shoulder, I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder like this, and I'm going to measure 6 inches. I'll come here, measure 6 inches. So 6 inches is going to serve as my neckline. So I'll just draw a line across. That is my neckline at 6 inches. So at this point, I'm going to impute 0.75 here and 0.75 here. I will do the same from here, 0.75, from here, 0.75. Then I'm going to connect this. I'm going to connect what I have from here like this to the bust point, and I'll flip it like this to the bust point as well. So I'll do the same from here to here, and from here I'll flip from here to here as well. So what I have here is my dart intake, which is 1.5 in total. So the next I want to do now is to start curving the neckline. So I don't want too much sweetheart neckline. So from here I can go in by 1 inch. So once I go in by 1 inch, I'm going to place my ruler like this. From this point, I will connect from that point to this point. I'll also flip my ruler like this and connect from here again to this point. So this becomes my neckline. But coming over to here, I'm going to make my neckline. I'm going to make it run into the armhole. This is the armhole. So from here, I'll just come down by 3/4. That is 0.75. And I'm going to make it run into the armhole. So let me just use the inner part of my curve like this. Okay, so when it runs, I'll just blend it a little bit to go into the armhole. Then on this part, I'll also measure 3/4. So once I get the 3/4, I'll use the inner part of my ruler, the inner part of it, and make it and blend it into the armhole. So just blend it nicely. So since it's a tube dress, the armhole will not be as deep as this because this is my chest line. So I'll just come up by 1 inch like this. I want it to cover my armpit. So since it's covering my armpit, I'll go up by 1 inch. So now I came up from the chest line by 1 inch. So what I'm going to do now, I'll now place this ruler like this. I'll make it pass from here to here. or I can do this. Just do this. This is what I will do now. I'll keep it this way to form the armhole. So just go ahead and keep it like this to form the new armhole. So I'm going to raise my I'm going to raise the side a little bit more. So why I did that is because I don't want my armhole to show. So just connect the line from that 1 inch to the 0.35 line, and then you blend up like the line. So we are no longer using this. So you can see that we already have our tube dress. So now we want to go over to the under bust. So to the under bust, this is my center back, my center front. Because it's asymmetric, I'll place my tape on this line and I'm going to measure. Note that my dart is 1 inch and I replace it right here. So from the center front, I'll just go ahead and measure my under bust circumference divide by 4. So my under bust circumference divide by 4, my under bust is 35, divide by 4 is 8.75. I'll mark. Then whatever you have left here, I have about 1.25. So I'll come here and put 0.25, and the bigger one, which is 1, I'll put it over here. So what I'm doing here, I'll still repeat it here. So I'll just go ahead and place my tape, my pattern ruler like this, and I'll flip it this way as well and connect to this point. Then I'll use the straight part to connect to this part and the straight part to connect to this part. So I'll repeat what I did right here over here right now. So I added on the center front 0.25 and added 1 inch on this other side. So I'll also place my ruler from that point to the bust point like this. I'll do the same from here to this point. Then I'm going to connect this line to this line and I'll go like this as well. So I'm going to cut off every of the dart I have here. I'll cut off everything I have here right now. So for the asymmetric parts, I'm going to use another marker so you'll be able to understand what I'm doing. So from the mid armhole, just place your tape and come out by 1 inch and mark. And from this mid, come out by ½ an inch and mark. So after you have marked the 1 inch, just go ahead and place your pattern ruler. You can see this line. We are connecting it to this line. So I'll just go ahead and place it to blend into this line like this. So when you are placing it, place it in this manner to blend with this line and come out right here. Now, from this point, I'm going to measure 2 inches. So I'll measure 2 inches and connect. Then from the center front, I'm going to measure 1 inch. And then I'll place my pattern ruler like this. From here, I'll connect like this. So after that, we have ½ an inch here. So just go ahead and place your pattern ruler like this. Just blend it the way I'm placing it and then connect. So this is the asymmetric part of it for the front. Okay, so I'll call this the yoke. So I'm going to trace out this part now. I'm tracing out this part before we cut. I'm going to trace it out. I'll simply place your brown pattern paper like this. Once you place it like that, then I am seeing the lines. I'm seeing them very well. So I'll just follow the lines like this. Then I'll come out this way. So that becomes the yoke, and this is the shoulder line, and this is the side. So you label them. So after labeling them, next is to cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. So this will be turn and top stitch. So I'm going to, this one will be sewn, cut twice. So if you are cutting this part of the yoke, cut it twice, 2 times, okay? So just like you sew your yoke, you also sew everything and turn from this side. You open a little bit from here and turn, or here. So we are going to now cut out the bustier itself. So to cut out the bustier, I'm going to cut from here into my bust point. Then I'm going to go through this line, go through this and follow this line. Okay, so this is the bustier. So I'm just cutting it out in a way that it will be easy for you to understand. So this is what we have, and that is what we need. So I'll go ahead and cut this, come here and cut this like this. So next I'll cut into the that and go like this, cut out the that and go like that. Do the same here, cut out the that and go like this, and cut out the that and go like this. So I'm going to close up my bust that. So to close the bust that, I'll just close here, cut through here, and apply my adhesive, or I can use my seal tape. So I'll just close the bust that, as you may see. So once I close the bust that, I take off the dart here, take off the dart here, take off this dart, and close off the dart. So now the front piece is ready. So this is how it's going to look like. So your front piece is ready like this. After sewing this and this, you are going to sew F1, F2 and F3. That is after padding, sewing your lining, you are going to turn it as if you are making a tube dress. So after you have joined this, then you are going to sew this and turn it and leave this part open. This part will be left open. That is where you are going to join it to the front and to the back. So after joining here, this, after joining the bustier, this will be placed on top like this and top stitched. So you are going to top stitch it. So by the time you place it, it will actually stay like this. Then you top stitch on top of it. So that is the front for you. So we want to go over to the back. So coming over to the back is also very easy. So if you remember, this was the side we had our yoke. We had our yoke like this for the front. So when it comes to the back, just place the yoke like this. So it's just very easy. What you are going to do is to first divide your shoulder the same way that we did on the part of the yoke. That is where I'm doing this. So I'll come from here and divide my shoulder into 2. So after dividing my shoulder into 2 like this, I will connect it like this, just on the part of the yoke. You can see I'm placing the yoke on the right side now because this is asymmetric. You are going to draft it on this other side. So remember that this is the armhole. So you will turn it like this. Okay, this is the shoulder and this is the side. So the side you will turn it like this. and you will mark from here to here. Going in this way we took 1/2 inch, and going out this way we took 1 inch. So I'll just place this like this. Can you see, from this point to this point? And I'm going to trace the line. I'm going to trace the line I have. So that is how this part is going to look like. So I'll just go ahead and trace. Make sure this side is aligning before you trace. So once you get to this, you do what? You blend it out. Then for here, I'm going to also trace what I have here. So it depends on how shallow or how deep you want your neckline to be. So I'll now come with the back for this as well. So you note that you place it this way as well, because we have closed up our border, so everything is equal on the side. So what you do is to push this to the side like this, and then follow same neckline like this to touch this line first. So once it touches this line, you follow this neckline too and leave it at this. Okay, so after that, since it's asymmetric, you can now come in with create your neckline. So in fact, if I have gotten this part, if you have gotten this part, there won't be any need tracing that other part. So this part has to be equal for that side. So what you will do now is to blend it from here. So if I have to do this, let us forget about this line and do this. Just freehand it like this. It's asymmetric. So just freehand it to go. We have here. From this line, this needs to blend into the armhole like this. Okay, so it has to go like this because this is the side of this dress where we are going to join it. So now I'll now come over to I'm coming to the waistline to contour my waistline. So from here I'll come in by 0.75, 0.75. So I will place my ruler like this, and I know you are familiar with this. So what I'm doing now is to contour the center back because of zip bulge. So here I'm going to cut out that part. So now I'm going to eliminate the darts. I'm not using that for this dress. So the dart is dartless. The back is dartless. So I'll place my tape here and measure my real waist divided by 4. I will mark. I'll do the same here. Waist divided by 4. I will mark. I'll start from here and measure from this point. I'm going to take my bust circumference divided by 4. I will mark. So if I have marked, I'll connect it like this and connect it like this. So I'm sure that part is complete. Then I will repeat the same thing from here. I'm going to take the measurement of my waist. I will mark, and my bust from here I will mark. Then I'm going to also connect this part like this. All right, so we are done, and there's not too much explanation to this particular part. So this particular part of the dress, you are going to cut it full and attach to the yoke at the front. So here is my back one, and this is the back two. I'm going to cut what I have like this. Then I'm going to cut from here to here, and then cut from here to here. I'll cut the new side and cut my waist line. Then I'll cut the side like this. Then I'll come over here and cut this and this. So here will be the part of the zipper, as you can see. So this part is the part that has the shoulder, which you will be connecting or sewing to this part. Okay, so when it's at the front side, if I turn it to the front side now, it will be, you sew it together with this like this. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is the band. So this is what the full dress looks like right now. So we are done with the back. You can see how the back was, and this is what we have on the front. So this part will be like this. So after that, we are going to cut out the band. Okay, so the band is just a straight band like this. After sewing the dress, you are going to sew it like a belt and turn. And the measurement of this band is your round shoulder measurement. So you take your round shoulder measurement around where you want the band to go. So mine is 42. Take away 8 inches from it. So if I take away 8 inches from it, I'm left with 34 inches. So my band now from here is 34 inches in length, and the width of it from here to here, the width is 4 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 times of this band, turn it like a belt. You are going to turn it, finish it like a belt, and then tack it to the dress. So I'll be placing this on the dress form for you to see how it's done. So I just taped them together, the front, for you to see. Okay, so it's just an illustration. So you can see the first thing is to sew the bustier. That is what I'm trying to illustrate now. So after sewing the bustier together, padding it, turning it nicely with your lining, this is what the back looks like. So the back will be asymmetric like this, as you can see. So you can see it's asymmetric. So it will run from that armhole to the back like this. Okay, so and it's going to meet the yoke. So the yoke now, you finish up the yoke very nicely, and then we are going to place it on top like this, following this line. You are going to stitch it on top of the bustier after you are done with the tube. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So the back, like I said, will be asymmetric like this and meet the one at the shoulder line. So here is the 34 inches. You sew it like a belt, give it a good press. Then we are going to find the midpoint of it, get the midpoint of it, and this is how you are going to drape it on the body. So the client will wear the dress, and you bring it, drape it like this. Can you see? So let me use the other. Okay, this, you just drape it like this, and on this point, that is where we are going to have the cone. Okay, this is where we are going to have the cone. So it's actually a very simple dress anyway. So let me pin them now so you understand what I'm talking about. So after tacking it, okay, you are going to tack it here and also stitch it at the back. So now the cone will be here. I have a detailed video on how to sew this cone. I'll also drop it on the link below. So you now come in with your applique and you will just paste it on top of it. Okay, after draping it, just go ahead and place your applique. So I just pretend these are the applique I'm working with. So you just paste it as strategic positions as you wish. So I believe this illustration was very helpful. So this is what it's going to look like after the dress, and this is what the back looks like too. So it's going to run into this side and you stitch it at this side. The zipper will be here, so you can fix a hook for it, or you can allow it also terminate at the zipper. It can be, you can cut it off at this point and stitch it at the zipper line. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. I believe this illustration was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.